AI companions. For so long, that's just been science fiction, right? Well, today we're going to see how that fiction is crashing into reality. We're going to dive deep and figure out just how close we are to those super smart, empathetic AIs we've all seen on the big screen. Think about it. We've seen them everywhere. Movies, books, you name it. But are they destined to stay on the page? Is a true AI companion just a fantasy, or is this something that could actually happen? Maybe even in our lifetime. All right, so to really get to the bottom of this, here's our game plan. We'll start with the dream, what sci-fi promised us. Then we'll get real with today's breakthroughs. We'll also have to talk about the huge hurdles standing in the way. After that, we'll look at the amazing building blocks we have today. And finally, we'll see how we're bridging that gap between fiction and fact.
Okay, let's kick things off with part one, the sci-fi dream. Before we can even begin to talk about where we are now, we've got to look at the vision that pop culture has been building in our heads for decades.
I mean, we all have these incredible examples burned into our minds, right? You've got Jarvis, Tony Stark's sarcastic, brilliant sidekick. Or think about Samantha from the movie Her, an AI so human, so emotionally deep that she becomes a romantic partner. It's these stories that have really set the bar, creating the blueprint for what we all think an AI companion should be.
So if you boil it all down, this fictional wish list really has three main things on it. First, real emotional intelligence. The power to get the feeling behind what we're saying. Second, actual sentience. The idea that the AI is truly conscious. And third, just a seamless, human-like conversation that feels totally natural. That's the gold standard. That's the dream. All right, so that's the dream. Now let's ground ourselves in reality with part two, today's AI breakthroughs. How does what we have right now actually compare? And right away, we hit a really critical distinction. The AI in the movies, they have true emotional understanding. But the AI we have today, it's all about incredibly sophisticated pattern matching. It doesn't actually feel sad with you, but it's crunched so much data that it can predict the perfect empathetic thing to say. It sounds like a small difference, but trust me, it's a massive one.
So where are we seeing the most progress? Well, it's really in three key areas. First, conversational fluency is off the charts. Thanks to LLMs, AI can chat so naturally it's sometimes, honestly, a little shocking. Second is what we call emotional AI, systems that can analyze your tone of voice or facial expressions to guess your mood. And finally, we're getting better at robotic integration, giving these AIs a physical body. You can see how the individual pieces are starting to click into place.
But hold on, if we have all these cool pieces, why don't I have a Jarvis in my house yet? Well, that leads us straight into part three, the unseen hurdles. And believe me, there are some big ones. Okay, the first huge hurdle isn't even technical, it's psychological. It's called the uncanny valley. You know that feeling, right? That creepy, weird vibe you get when something is almost perfectly human, but something's just a little bit off. Maybe a tiny delay in its response or a comment that's just a bit weird. It shatters the illusion, and it's what makes getting that last 1% of humanness so incredibly hard. And then you have the ethical landmines. I mean, these are huge. Should an AI really be storing our deepest, most private conversations? What's to stop it from subtly nudging our decisions one way or another? And the big one, if we ever do create a conscious AI, what are our obligations to it? What rights does it have? These aren't just coding problems. They're questions about what it means to be human. And finally, there's just the massive technical mountain we have to climb. The AI from the movies, that's really what we call artificial general intelligence, or AGI, an AI that can think and learn across any subject, just like we can. But to get there, we'd need a mind-boggling amount of data and computing power, way, way more than we have today. Our AIs are specialists, not generalists. So, okay, with all those challenges, what are we building right now? That brings us to part four, the building blocks of today. And you'll see the focus isn't on one giant superbrain, but on a whole toolbox of specialized AIs. Yeah, so the whole strategy has shifted. Nobody's trying to build one all-knowing Jarvis from scratch. Instead, what we're seeing are companions in modules. Think of it like a team of specialists. Each AI is an expert at one thing, and they work together to help us out. A perfect example is personalized tutors.
These AIs aren't trying to chat with you about your day. Nope. Their only job is to understand how you learn. They can change a lesson plan mid-sentence and give you feedback right away. It's like having a personal tutor for every single student, something that was just impossible before.
Or look at another powerful module, mental health support bots. Now, they're not a replacement for a human therapist, let's be clear, but they can offer you coping strategies or just be a non-judgmental ear anytime, day or night. It's making basic mental wellness support so much more accessible to so many people.
And of course, we can't forget about virtual assistants. We're talking light years beyond set a timer for 10 minutes. The new generation of assistants are like professional partners. They can handle complicated workflows, whip up reports, and follow multi-step instructions. They're totally changing the game at work.
And what's really cool, and maybe a little wild, is the rise of DIY AI companions. Because of all these open source tools, pretty much anyone can start building their own little specialized bots. Things like role-playing characters or even robotic pets. It's this bottom-up innovation that's really stretching the definition of what a companion can be.
And that brings us to our final part, bridging fiction and fact. So we've seen the dream, we've seen the reality. Where do we go from here? Well, the path forward is really about assembly. Think about all the specialized modules we just talked about, the tutor, the health bot, the assistant. Those aren't separate things, they're the components. We are getting really good at conversational AI, we're making progress in emotional modeling, or figuring out robotic bodies, and we're mastering personalization. So no, we're not building Samantha yet, but we are mastering all the individual skills we need to.
And things are speeding up fast. Why? A few big reasons. We've got new hardware, like neuromorphic chips, which are literally designed to work like a human brain, plus quantum AI on the horizon. That's a huge jump in power. At the same time, thanks to open source and all this shared data, innovation isn't locked away in some secret lab anymore. It's happening everywhere, all at once. The future is a team sport.
So this all leaves us with one final and really important question. As we get closer and closer to making sci-fi a reality, what's the end game? Do we want to build an AI that's just like us, a mirror? Or do we want to build a tool that helps us become better versions of ourselves? Smarter, more organized, maybe even more empathetic? The answer we choose is going to define the entire future of this technology.